Looking spot on here.
And he doesn't even knock off the clarity.
2-0. The Alchemist may be feeling the pressure of SC's Timbersaw and a little bit of help from that Batrider, but this aggro tri-lane situation is certainly working out for Adfinem. Skylark's going to have quite the early level 2. Skylark running into U9 here. They're going to try and back themselves away. Spartan is going to be able to get the disruption. Skylark just tries to get out, it looks like, and Kaka's actually stuck here. The disruption blocking him in, but doesn't really matter. More importantly, done. That was a courier pickoff. Maybe next time. You thought just because he wasn't on a bounty hunter, you thought he was going to pick off couriers? No.
They don't have a good way to catch him. There's like no disruption to bring him back. Like neither of their supports have disable, silences, nothing. So maybe next time can just run wherever he wants. He was just there arrowing the large control camp, just making sure that there's no stack coming out from the Batrider. And support Batrider is tough, especially when they're all up in your jungle.
Yeah.
I've seen jungle Batriders before, but support is another beast.
Well, maybe next time. What are you doing? Lines up on that arrow, surprising the trees, but SC, the soldier, ever vigilant, manages to just barely sidestep that arrow.
Skylark was taking a lot of damage on the top lane, but it's okay. Pop a branch.
So was KP. Look at this guy. Without a courier, he's in that awkward situation where he wants to be able to stay in lane because it's a 1v1. He doesn't want to leave out any experience, but he is also has no backup when it comes to regen. He's finally going to decide to suicide in neutrals, it looks like. But this does leave Madara a free lane, something that, mid, Bug dropping a bit low, but SC, without having level 6, really doesn't have solo kill potential against an Alchemist.
Timber is crushing him in CS. Almost double Alchemist right now, and that's with the early bounty rune going his way. And Timbersaw just a very, very great matchup, and SCCC very skilled in that mid lane. I have used scan, they did set it out, but the arrow is spot on.
SC going to be blocked up. He does have high levels of reactive armor right now. They're going to leap and try and get that extra bit of damage, just not enough.
Yeah, one downside about having the disruption is that you have the illusions. If you wanted them to attack, you're popping reactive armor stacks on the Timbersaw. And that's a gank that they really wanted to work out over here.
Skylark, thanks to the space of the 2 supports, he's doing pretty well for himself. He is actually going to man up against Faith, manages to catch the creep wave in the process, and he's actually going to pull it into this hard camp knowingly. That does put him in a spot when it comes to those fatal bonds, and he'll actually miss one of those last hits. But in the end, this will be a lane that pushes forward, and Skylark will be able to get what seemingly a fast level 6. Rana's coming over. They actually lay down this. I really like this ward here for Newbee. It's spawning out maybe next time. Movements around the map. This will give SC an idea that there's probably another arrow coming his way, or maybe just a neutral.
And Kaka's really deep in the Radiant jungle. Maybe part of his job is to stop the stacking. Kaka, is he going to spot out?
Spartan's going to be caught. Burrow strike into all this sticky napalm. Spartan really doesn't scan a snowball's chance in hell, not with all this fire around. Newbee finally get themselves on the board here, 2-1.
Yeah, and Kaka does have an observer ward over here, so this can give them more control of the Radiant jungle because of how deeply Adfinem's invading their own. They need more places to farm on Newbee. You want to like Batrider takes up a decent amount of space if you actually want him to get items.
Right.
And right now he's just stacking, or sorry, he's not stacking. He's just scouting out the Alchemist and trying to steal his stacks possibly. So that's kind of a cool, unique ability that the Batrider can do and steal opponent stacks, which is definitely something that we're going to be seeing this game.
Thug was trying to pick up his level 6 off the jungle, but with Kaka in range, he sapped some of that experience, and Thug is really feeling the pressure of SC now, especially now that SC has his level 6. The Chakram is up. This does give him kill potential against Thug. But Thug will also have his level 6, it seems, with this creep wave. No opportunity to be found for Newbee just yet.
Yeah, maybe next time just trying to figure out where this Batrider is and getting some stacks up for Alk, and Alk also in the meantime getting top rune. Will it be bounty? Nope, just a haste rune for him. He will stack up the Ancients in the meantime.
Bit unlucky, but we'll see whether or not that haste rune comes in play for him. Maybe it'll save his life against an incoming gank from Newbee. They are freely farming on U9, but so is Madara. He's got 35 and 10 compared to the Sand Kings 18 and 0. KP has given himself a solo lane where he's got free experience, but he's not able to keep up when it comes to levels.
Arrow, will it
Arrow? Yeah. Just a bit too late.
Yeah, he was a little bit too far behind. He'd probably have to leap, and even if he left, I don't think that he would have been able to get that kill.
Yeah.
Very hard to kill this Bat Rider when he's in the trees.
Still though, how is this Bat Rider going to be effective? He's level 3, 6.5 minutes in. It doesn't seem like they're going to really be able to rely on stacks. What do you think Newbee's idea is to be able to give him at least some semblance of farm?
Well, maybe they swap into the support role because they realize that, okay, it's going to be kind of countered by the next assassin, and they want to fight much earlier because you need to shut down Alchemist very, very early on. So now he's playing... Kaka is known for playing like the Bounty Hunter Riki, so now he's just getting a lot of intel around the map, just dropping as a reward, kind of playing deep onto Adfinem side, just like the two supports were in the early game. So they're not playing him for lasers, they're not playing him for napalm stacks. It's just be annoying, get some kills around the map, and just be ever so elusive with the Firefly up cliffs.
He's certainly forcing rotations here. Adfinem double TP in. One of them, though, is Skylark. He's level 6. U9 is actually pushing out his lane, so they should have free info about the Nyx assassin moving around the map at this point in time.
I don't know if they have enough damage. He has a fair amount of armor, so the Vendetta and plus the Swarm, it's going to be pretty difficult.
Lead with Vendetta, or maybe an Inhale does catch him during the Sandstorm, but will be enough. He has a Burrow Strike. That's why Skylark puts himself forward with the Spike Carapace. KP will go farther down the river, but he tries to go for a TP out. It's just not going to happen, though. Both an arrow, a disruption, and all the right-click damage you can ask for. Comes down from Adfinem for third kill.
Yeah, that was a tough gank for KP in this game. Like, even if he had burrowed up the cliff and then tried to TP, he still had a Swarm on him, so there's very little chance of him being able to TP out with full vision into an arrow. And maybe next time, probably trying to get lucky with a courier kill as he heads up to the Dire Cup, but there's no courier to be spotted.
Still, though, all those rotations do give Newbee a free chance to push down a tier 1 tower. Luna safely farming in lane is not just at 52 and 9 when it comes to CS, but is also able to pick up a tower last hit as well.
So they need Warlock 6 before they can actually start pushing towers together as 5, and Sand King is a long way away from him, Blink Dagger, as is the Bat Rider, but it looks like they're going to try and prioritize the Bat Rider, or at least he's going to be stacking for one of the two, as they try and look for ways to perhaps force engagements while Alchemist is off farming.
So do you think that Newbee actually go for these pushes with the Warlock Ultimate, or do you think they have to wait for one of those Blink Daggers first?
I think they can go with the Warlock Ultimate. Like, Weaver is kind of, and Marana FD is very good at getting kills, but for an actual team fight, Nyx is the only one that they're worried about, but with Timbersaw being super farmed and Warlock and Fatal Bonds and Eclipse, I think that's enough to take a team fight, especially with no BKBs and no items really. If the Alchemist joins a fight though, then they could actually be in a little bit of trouble. Like if he's stalling with the Acid Spray, they don't have that great of sustain, nor do they have that much armor to really counter it, and no signs of an early mech from Newbee. So I think it all depends on whether or not like the Alchemist is around there. They can't push the Alchemist lane.
Yeah, it is quite dangerous to try and continue to just separate and farm up those Blink Daggers, because this just gives Skylark more opportunity for potential picks on this Nyx assassin. Now, he just spent a majority of his Vendetta in bottom lane, didn't actually get an opportunity for a kill there, but now he's going to rotate over and try and catch SC. SC trying to contest the room, but Bug will manage to pick up an Arcane, and Arrow nails him from behind, and they're going to be able to combo up these stuns quite nicely. SC not going to be able to make it out of here. Spartan's going to be able to get the extra kill, looks like. They don't have a stun up. Impale is down, but the Spike Carapace will hold Kaka there for a moment. But really, once he's into the cliff, it's very hard for these heroes to be able to catch Kaka.
And they just all got Fatal Bonded and have to be very careful about that. Kaka, his Firefly is right about to run out. He can pop on the kill, but no follow-up.
Man, with this support Mirana, it's just so hard for them to actually utilize the jungle efficiently. Maybe next time just keeps on making these entrances, takes away the big creep out of some of these hard camps, and Newbee are left a whole lot less effective with heroes like the Sand King and Bat Rider, who are known for being able to have some jungling prowess.
And surprisingly, no tome up for Newbee. It's been a minute since it spawned. Yet looks like Warlock is trying to do it the hard way by just sitting in lane.
Yeah, they're going for...
There's a smoke.
They're pushing bottom lane, and they're also going to smoke up with 2 members of Newbee. Actually, 3 members. This puts a lot off map. And this is so obvious to Adfinem. So many members of Adfinem off map, and a Luna pushing in bottom. They realize the rotation is coming in from mid lane to bottom lane, and it looks like no one is really going to be caught here. Madara kind of showing himself, but he's got the Shukuchi. He can afford to play a bit of a dangerous game there with the Newbee cores. Backs himself away. Newbee are still going to go for that push, but Skylark's already in position. He's got the creep wave. He's soloing it up, so they may actually be able to make a trade-off here while still keeping efficiency on that.
And Madara walking into a wall.
Too much of a dangerous game, my friend. He's just going to get bursted down. Thought he could rely on the time lapse, but 1 stun and 1 sentry is all that's needed to be able to bring him low. The TP out from KP is he's actually going to try and contest this tier 1 tower, at least try and go for the deny. Skylark doesn't take it. Thanks in part to the spike carefully. KP waits down, so doesn't get the stun. It's going to be hard to track as Skylark gets himself out of the way with a vendetta. Now he's actually still trying to set up on KP because from the south, Spartan is going to try and cut KP off. KP doesn't have a whole lot of mana to work with, no magic stick charges. If Spartan can just hit the Purge, I think this is going to be enough. KP already brought low. Wazoo is all it should take. A couple of right clicks and the Purge can easily finish him off. TP in from Luna will not be able to save him. Can't even get any damage out in the Skylark as he blocks it all back with another beautifully timed spike carapace.
They almost could have killed the Luna right there if they had set up a disruption into an arrow on him, and maybe it looks like that's what they're aiming for. They don't have vision of her as she goes to the right side of the map. They don't have a ward up onto that side, but with the trees cut down, is it going to get caught?
They do have the Eclipse. He doesn't get off in time. How they're going to be able to combo stuns up. Oh, he actually sidesteps the arrow. He can actually turn with the Warlock, drop the chaotic offering. They're going to be able to blow up the Shattered Demon. It seems like catch the Nyx Assassin as well. He turns for an impale, but it doesn't matter. Run down by Newbee's heroes as they bait out U9.
Perfect use of the Warlock ultimate, and Luna kind of hesitated on whether or not she should have popped the Eclipse, but no fear, Newbee's team was back there behind her, and wasting not 1 second, they smoke up, immediately head over to the Radiant Ancients and hope to look for a low HP Alchemist. He's at 1200 gold with a relic card.
With his Chemical Rage, it's just about to fall. So he's in serious trouble, not just with the Radiance, but also at his ultimately exposed area. Then here by they're going to be able to catch him with the disruption goes out first. And his damage is going to be a bit ineffective. Probably tries to put a stop to it, but ultimately they do manage to get that kill. And they can't do money in the process, though. TP's coming in from Nyx Assassin, trying to put himself in front of the Batrider with Spike Carapace, and he will manage to at least catch one, but that is still slowing down the Radiance, and they only traded what is a support Batrider.
He managed to pick up the Radiance recipe before he died, so
he did.
Not the worst trade in the world, but Newbee's still coming out. We're good, 600 gold ahead.
Newbee know they have to keep up the pace when it comes to this tempo of ganks. They need to constantly put pressure on this Alchemist, otherwise they're going to be on the losing side of a split push war.
And it looks like Spartan will be able to get these 2 D wards. It's so important as the Radiant really needs to farm those Ancients up. It's just really important for the Alchemist. Even the Weaver can help a lot with the Swarm, but not if there's no creeps there. And Newbee probably taking a look at their economic game. They use a lot of smokes, hasn't yielded the most kills, and both their Blink Dagger wielders are not even
nailed up. Maybe next time with a beautiful rotation to bottom lane. Red KP's rotation beautifully, but oh my god, he just struck into the trees. They're going to be able to come in with the Eclipse, blows up maybe next time, and they actually survive on KP and get a counter kill.
That's a huge play from KP right there. And a little bit late on the dust. I don't think the Shukuchi damage hit the Sand King as he was running away to the north side. And that would have halted most of the blink progression. And now it looks like Newbee will follow that up with another tower.
Radiant's bottom tower
Newbee, they've taken all the important objectives here. If they can actually translate this into not just a tier 2 tower kill, but also start putting pressure on mid, the Alchemist is going to be struggling to find space to farm.
He's walking into a trap. Madara walked into the center.
Oh, but he runs right back out. Lasso not going to be in there in time. He uses time lapse just in case. He goes right back through them again, taunting them to chase him down because he has the help of the rest of his team this time around. Adfinem going to come forward. They missed 1 stun. U9 fighting for TPM. Thinks better of it. His hero slides on by. Now he has to turn and fight instead. The Purge just keeps him from escaping. They managed to catch Kaka there with the Spike Carapace, slowing down his retreat. Madara does have view of him. Another Spike Carapace is coming up. Skylark gets him once again. The Impel will put a stop to that TP. And 8-6 now is the score as Adfinem do manage to hold that tier 2 tower.
That was just not the real good fight that they were looking for. So KP, and they think the stun duration is long enough, but it wasn't a max duration, and the dust comes out. He doesn't hit with the Shikuchi damage,
Radiant's
and he
middle
blinks
tower
into
is
an
under
impossible
attack.
area for them to scout, unless you leap right on top of them or they have a swarm. That's another thing. The dust came out late, so the swarm wasn't able to stick on top of the Sand King.
8-6, 16.5 minutes in, a 4,000 gold lead for
Radiant's
Adfinem,
top
2,000
tower.
experience.
Sunday.
KP is going to be caught by another arrow for maybe next time. This time around, he preemptively ducks. He does not want to let KP escape again. He tries to put him on this cliff, doesn't quite make it, but TP. It won't get out in time. Disruption stops him, and KP will fall 9-6 now.
And his current gold right before that, 1850.
Oh man, he gets knocked down to 1,500, and he's out of the game for 40 seconds. This Blink Dagger is just not going to be coming up anytime soon, and neither will the Bat Riders. He's only sitting at 1,300. And this is really necessary. They need that hard initiation for Newbee to feel confident pushing the last remaining of these objectives, right? The tier 1 and tier 2 is really what helps the Alchemist maintain security around these farming areas, these two neutral camps, as well as this ancient area.
And even despite those two heroes not really close to their Blink Dagger, Newbee, they do have the Midas on the Warlock. They've been a little bit quiet, but only one death. That's a pretty good sign for him, and involved in a decent amount of kills. So even if they don't have the Blink Daggers up early, and maybe 4 steps later, they probably will have the Ags Warlock later to help them out in their late game situation.
Yeah, it looks like U9 is planning on spending a lot of time farming against this Alchemist. He goes ahead and picks up the Helmet Dominator. They're going to try and keep control of their own ancient camp and utilize it against the Alchemist. They can't keep pace, obviously, but they can at least keep within striking distance of Madara's net worth. Sitting AK. Oh, the arrow going to come out. Maybe next time. How does he keep on landing? And Skylark holds on to the spike carapace until he was in the perfect spot, too, just in case. But really, maybe next time. Didn't need that extra backup. He's able to land these arrows all by himself, it seems.
And Alchemist bottles another bounty rune, and right now it's just an economic war.
Yeah.
Can these guys get their Blink Daggers and kill some of Adfinim's heroes so that the Alchemist is the only problem that they have to worry about right now? Is like the Nexus has had Blink Dagger for quite some time now. They still have to buy a lot of
Dire's
Central Wards, a
middle
lot of
tower
reveal
is under
so that they can
attack.
see Receiver and
Dire's
perhaps see the
structures
Nexus
are
and add Sea's
fortified.
Vendetta around the map, but I mean, Faith is kind of the only one farming that well of the 3 that you kind of are worried about in this game.
Maybe this is why U9 did pick up that Helmet Dominator. Maybe he thinks these Blink Daggers are just not going to come fast enough. They're not going to be able to maintain map control fast enough. And Alchemist will ultimately win out first. When it comes to this economic game, he'll be able to have that Manta before Newbee can end it. They are going to be able to do a 4-man smoke wrap around here. The 2 supports in mid lane, they are going to be the victims, or at least one of them here. Spartan on the Shadow Demon. A momentary reprieve, but the disruption ultimately will not pay. Tier 1 tower is going to fall because of that. Adfinem will gladly give it up, though. Looks like they have enough space for the taking.
Radiant's
Dara's
middle
pushing out the
tower
top lane,
has fallen.
and Thug is trying to get that bottom lane pushed out while
Radiant's
Newbee pushed to
middle
tier
tower
2.
is under attack.
The Blink Dagger reveal does yield the
Radiant
T1, but
structures are
not sure if that's enough. And
Dire's
Alchemist,
top tower
in
is
the
under
meantime,
attack.
is still just off farming like a madman. And the push will be slowed down because of the swarm.
Yeah, and how do you actually stop Madara when he shows himself like this? If they go
Radiant's
ahead
middle
and
tower
use this
is under
fresh Blink
attack.
Dagger from KP to Burrow Strike, it just gets blocked out by the Lincolns. So, the Rage Streak Drift is just in time, and U9 is actually set up underneath this tier 1 tower. SC pushes back at him, making sure they can't do much with that Moonlight Shadow.
Maybe next time walks under the Sentry Ward. They don't have vision on them yet, but they perhaps see that all of Adfinem are on the south side.
The Manta's up, and illusions start coming out. Both Disruption as well as Manta illusions. The Radiance Burn, it seems like, is going to be enough to keep their tier 2 safe. Newbee are going to be pushed back. They need to find pickoffs from here on out before they go for these full-out pushes. And we're going to be jumped, but it may cost KP his life. He gets stuck up, but he also Burrow Strikes out. Gets a little bit of distance away from Madara. He's going to be chased down. He doesn't have Burrow Strike, no Sandstorm, nothing. He is going to be chased down underneath his tier 1 tower. Time lapse, and Madara. Hit and run for him, getting the 11th kill for Adfinem.
Now they're really desperate when it comes to the gold. Their HOD creep just got arrowed, and they're about to lose this 2-1 tower, which doesn't leave the Ancients really safe for U9 to take anymore. They need to create gold out of nowhere, which is kind of what the stacking from the HOD does, but if they can't take that out, and then they still need the Blink Dagger on the Bat Rider, and then you also need the Timber and the Luna to absorb a lot of the creeps, I just see them falling further and further behind. They need more picks, as you mentioned, with 2 or 3 while the others are farming.
The Blink Dagger just picked up for Kaka. Is going to be enough for him to blink away. Yes, it is. Skylark, he was there a second or two earlier. They could have even stopped that Blink Dagger from being purchased by Kaka. But as it is, Newbee have both their initiating items. Will it be enough?
They're out of smokes. It's the Double War spots. At least the Sand King out, and Adfinem are way out of there. And now, Adfinem, all they really want to do is let Newbee push into them. If they're pushing into them, they're together as 5. They waste their time because of the constant barrage of Alchemist illusions. And if they don't push as 5, they'll just get out-farmed. So maybe Newbee should tend towards that Dire Ancient area. That Dire Ancient area is where they will make their money, as well as perhaps taking Roshan. I think their team fight is still way stronger. Bat Rider with the Blink Dagger is very strong. Alchemist Illusions, I don't think they actually pinged it out, but with that drawn by, maybe next time it looks like they are well aware that a smoke is coming. Just not which direction. Skylark will pop the smoke.
They do have dust. Bat Rider runs the wrong direction. Blink onwards by Carapace. Not able to catch Skylark just yet. They bounce him forward instead of backwards. He gets him tail off. The dust is wearing low. They will manage to catch him, but they're in a nasty position. They're inside the secret shop. They're going to try and play the high ground here. The jump forward. Madara is going to get caught by the chaotic offering, but does manage to time lapse it off. They get the jump forward on Spartan, but Bat Rider's already down. He keeps moving forward. Does manage to clean up Spartan. Maybe next time leaps himself barely out of this, but the Luna, he's almost down. He gets burned out by the Radiance. And Madara searches for more. The Sand King, the Timbersaw, they might have gotten maybe next time, but they are dropped dangerously low. How's he going to be able to come in? Hits him with the concussion. That's a Timbersaw dead. A big kill for Adfinem as they pick up their 4th kill in exchange for their 2 supports in an offlane.
What a slick play from Thug right there. He BOT'd. He wasn't that close to the Timbersaw, so he casted Unstable Concoction, BOT'd on a creep that was already moving towards the Timbersaw and just bursted him down right as he was on top of them. And the Alchemist Illusions are just a little bit too much to handle. They had to blow so much to take the Nyx Assassin, but they were in a very compromising position, all clumped up to the north side of the Ancients. And Alchemists and Weaver thrive in that sort of environment when you're choked up, and Weaver got a decent amount of swarms on this. So Lasso comes out, there's just bugs everywhere, and they're already at low armor from the acid spray, combating that with a swarm, and Madara is free to clean up. U9, he's at the bottom, he can't really do that much damage with the clips because of his positioning, and this BOT play from maybe next time, or from Thug, as they're trying to chase down SECC was pretty big.
I mean, the fact that Skylark bought so much time there and it put Newbee in such an aggressive position. They were just begging to slowly be chipped away by the damage over time. Thug, you could see the way that he kind of played the outer edges of that team fight, burning away at Newbee with that Radiance as he does so now, revealing 5 members right next to the Roshan pit. Quick denying that bounty route, denying it away from Thug.
They need this area. If they lose this area, they'll lose the game. And look at the net worth graph. He's 22,000 versus the 10,000 of the Timbersaw and the Luna. So, like, them two combined is still less than the Alchemist. And there are axe carriers in this game. Nyx Assassin, very good. Weaver, if you want to make the Alchemist even stronger, like Mirana can build this into a core, although she's building a scepter herself, so they still have a lot of room to grow. And
he wasn't careful enough. SC, no visual appearance. He should be caught as well, but he's still, he tried to blink in, get a pro strike off, but Skylark strikes first. This offlaner beginning to shine now for Adfinem. They're going to be able to run down some extra heroes. Poor Fate, he knows that he's done for. He sees Thug big and bad. Running forward on the Alchemist, claims that double kill. And presumably Adfinem will be able to get an objective out of this as well. It's going to be Roshan. What they're going to be attempting here. Newbee, without their big team fight ultimate to both the Epicenter and Chaotic offerings, seem unlikely to be able to contest this, particularly with the heavy damage of Adfinem. They try and come in, and he's just not going to be there in time. And an Aegis picked up by the Alchemist. Now they're actually trying to turn Skylark. Does stun up Kaka. They almost finish him off. They need a little bit more burn damage to make Kaka's sacrifice worth it. SC's going to be chased down by Madara at the same time. They disruption. Dog going to be pulled up on his clip, but he does bounce back down over Madara. As he's still trying to chase down SC. Came thought about an Epicenter, starts charging up. He cancels instead, opting for the stun, and that is going to be able to get the kill on Madara without the ultimate.
Adfinem a little bit reckless as they move in, probably really happy about getting yet another chicken kill, but going in way too deep without the help of the Alchemist. Alchemist does not have the mobility that the Weaver has. Not that much increased move speed, no Blink Dagger, no Shadow Blade, no anything to go to where the Weaver was, all the way to the C2 tower. And they were already preoccupied killing the bat.
Yeah, and SC, he does have quite a large amount of armor to contend with that Desolator of Madara's. He's got both reactive armor as well as the just plain plate mail.
Now he's going for the BKB, and the only damage they have through BKB is Luna, and Luna is still very underfarmed, does not have a BKB of her own. There's a Manta style, but the Alchemist is just huge. He can easily just right-click those a couple of times, and they will all die. And there seems to be a lot more damage coming out from Adfinem as maybe next time closes in on the last component of his Ags.
I was just about to talk about, like, he's got the Aegis, he's got the 6 items, so U9 is going to be caught here. Beautiful setup here by Skylark, and maybe next time they're trying to force out something, force rotations, but they don't fully commit to that kill on the Luna. They back themselves away. Adfinem are actually going to back up.
That's a lot of discipline. You can tell that they really want to win this.
Yeah.
Like normally you're like, we'll go for it, even if we die worth, right? Because Luna, but
yeah,
you know they know that they don't want to concede any other kills. At least give someone the Ag before. And who did?
Oh, Hero nailed him. He caught him on the right side of the map. That's why they thought he was going to be in position for a Firefly, but it's going to be Adfinem who catch him first. The smoke rotation of Adfinem works out. They're going to be able to push into this tier 2 tower now, as it's going to be Newbee scrambling along the outer edges of the map, looking for split push.
I think the Ag is complete. They can skip the next assassin and just target up on the top side of the kill. And what can they really do? So let's see. Thug. Is it Madara? Oh, he gave it to Madara. Okay.
Yeah. Madara's going to be able to have that time lapse, which is in some ways even better, right? Because now they can pump hard Thug up on the high ground. He has Aegis, and even if they eat through that, there's going to be a time lapse coming in as well.
And defensive destruction. So that's like pretty much 4 lives for Alchemist.
Dominant position for Adfinem as they go high ground here. Thug is going to be forced out deeper into the base, slow down a bit. They do still have that chaotic offering to be dropped, but Thug is making it so hard for space. He goes down to half HP. And then tier 3 about to fall. These illusions just will not stop. They keep on battering into these heroes. Space is knocked all the way back to the bottom here. And now they're beginning to beat on the melee. They're going to be able to go on SC. SC drop low. AP trying to interrupt though with the Burrow Strike will allow SC to retreat. But now it's 4 members of Newbee ready to fight. While SC is going to regen up. This means their melee rank is going to be forfeited.
They can't even kill the illusions.
They're just
that's depressing. That's really depressing. All the supports just have to run away. And that was just the disruption illusions, let alone the Manta illusions, let alone the rest of Adfinim's heroes. So there was just very little chance of them actually killing the Alchemist. There's still a minute left on this Aegis, and they have creeps in the mid lane, so don't even have to worry about backdoor protection.
Madara heading back for his DKB and uses time lapse. Come right back, beating on this tier 2 tower. Adfinem still have that Aegis. Oh, no way! Are they going to go for it? No, they're just going to let the illusions do their work. Maybe they can force Space back to the fountain once again.
They need a big combo. Thinking Epicenter into Fatal Bond Warlock. That's pretty much all they can do. There is still no BKB on the Alchemist. Nora
jump forward. There's their initiation. Immediately stop. In place with the Spike Carapace. They try and drop the chaotic offering. Catching multiple heroes here. But Thug is right to go. He's dropping low. He's hit by the flip drop down as SC gets the jump onto him. But still, Madara can forward with the BKB. He's already cleaned up Face. And Thug, this is round 2 with him. He's got his ultimate ready to go. They've got time lapse as well. Madara's just sitting in the back, ready to go. If they jump on Thug, this time around they don't have their big ult.
That was everything that they had. I don't think Newbee have what it takes to fend off just over-farm the Alchemist.
Skylark jumping forward, does manage to catch U9. They're going to combo stun him. KP just can't do anything about it. Slick Dagger constantly stopped by Thug's illusion. They're going to buy back on U9. But KP is so low and struggling to be able to find space, to be able to charge up an Epicenter and find a blink. So at Adfinem, they see the melee racks is down, a buyback voice. They back themselves away in a domineering position.
And Newbee, what do they have left to do at this point? I'm trying to think of ways they can get back in the game. They've already lost 2 melee racks, and there's still plenty of Ags left to be given on the Alchemist. So looking at this, they're trying to set up for a big combo over here as KP tries to follow up with a rock But look at that 3-man stun coming out from Skylark, and Thug is at the front. Madara has to time up early, so he can't use it on Thug right before he pops the Aegis, but no one died during that ultimate.
Spartan going crazy in the booth. He knows Adfinem
Radiant's
are
middle
just
tower
moments
is under
away
attack.
from being able to claim this game 3 in a single elimination
Dire's top
against
tower
one
is
of the
under
toughest
attack.
teams out there.
So
Newbee.
maybe a base race might be their best option. Luna is actually really good at teaching the T4s.
Dire's top
Newbee need to
tower
do
is
something a
falling.
little bit crazy. They start pushing into that
Radiant's
tier
middle
2,
tower
but
I think
is
they're
under
Crazy
attack.
is the best choice that they have right now.
I mean, they're actually trying to run the Luna all the way back here. He doesn't actually have a TP scroll. Newbee are trying to push back on the Alchemist, blow him down at the bare
Radiant's
minimum
middle tower
until
is falling.
Luna comes in from behind with that eclipse.
Space might die on the right side.
Oh,
These
Jesus,
illusions.
these illusions.
Illusions still not top. Base is dead. Between the combination of bugs, the illusions burn him. Now that's going to be targeted. He doesn't have a BKB, so he's going to be whomped on by all these heroes. By the drop, KP performs. Gets by a Madara, but it doesn't matter. Newbies, they are so ineffective. They can't stop Adfinem.
Dire's top
Adfinem
tower
going
is
crazy
falling.
inside the booth. Cheering,
Radiant
yelling. Give me my voice. This is Sparta. This is Adfinem on the main stage, taking down Newbee. A standing ovation from the crowd as they top Newbee 2-1 off the back of some very nice bounty hunter play and an alchemist in game number 3.
Gotta love it. Adfinem showing so much emotion. And on the other side, Newbee.
Valiant effort. They had a really tough group, and I guess you could consider it a bit of an upset because Newbee were in fact second in their group, only behind VP.
Yeah, we talked about them right alongside Wings. They were one of the 5 teams that people looked at to be able to be a top contender for the tournament, but matched up against VP in the groups and Adfinem here on the main stage, they do fall. Standing ovation indeed from the crowd as they welcome Adfinem. Quite the upset here.
Newbee probably a little bit heartbroken. I think they have been doing pretty well these past months, but just not at their peak at this particular moment, as opposed to Adfinem, who have just been steadily on the rise. Such an easy team to like.
Adfinem, we will see more of them. Of course, this is not the last series. We still have one more team that's going to be eliminated out of this nasty single elimination here at the Boston Major. And I'm sure our analysts have some thoughts. Adfinem, I know there are at least a couple of those panelists that are going to be super happy about an Adfinem win. They said they were biased.
Yeah.
I want to see it now.
The sign behind you, Cap, says it best. Adwinem. I love that. That is such a fantastic